everyone, I'm Captain Logan. How's it going? It is almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, and I am ostensibly taking off the next 2 weeks, at least from regular content. But as I said in the post I made this morning, that doesn't mean I'm not going to pop in here and there for stuff, and we just got trailers today. So since we're not doing a Captain Logan show tomorrow, I figured I would go ahead and watch these with you real quick. Did not prepare for this, have not seen this yet. I almost started watching the Blue Beetle trailer, and I went, I might as well take a look at it with some of you guys, if anybody happens to be around this afternoon. So I can't promise any insights or anything interesting, but we'll watch it together, and I'll tell you any thoughts that come to mind. We've also got a Secret Invasion trailer, which is one of the only MCU projects that I've actually been kind of excited about recently. I thought the teaser looked really good, and I don't want to get my hopes up too much, it being a Disney Plus thing, but I am kind of excited to see several episodes of something starring Sam Jackson again as Nick Fury, and it looks like potentially, at least from that, we'll see what this trailer looks like, we might be getting back a little bit closer to that Winter Soldier tone, back in that territory, which would really excite me, although it kind of looked like we were going to get more of that for Falcon Winter Soldier, and it was that way superficially, but the writing wasn't there, I didn't think, for the most part, and it also duped me in the first couple of episodes because I thought that's where we were, and it was quite good, I thought, and then it all went downhill from there. But anyway, so I'm going to watch these trailers with you, and Austin just popped in and said that there's even a new Spider-Verse trailer tomorrow. I may or may not do one of these for that. I mean, I don't want to turn into just a reaction video channel, but I'm more open, more comfortable, or open to and comfortable doing this kind of thing now. Trying to make sure and give you enough discussion and as interesting thoughts as possible, and not just be the kind of reaction video where I look at the screen and I nod a little bit, and then I laugh, I smile a lot, and then I go, okay, bye everybody. Try to make it a little bit more than that. Not just content for the sake of content. I just know I'm going to get inundated with messages where people are going to ask me what I think about these, since we're not inundated. I don't know that people are really going to get, to be fair, I don't know that people are going to really care that much about the Blue Beetle thing, but it got more views in the first hour than I expected it would. It was already at 200,000, and for a project that a lot of people don't even realize is coming, I can't begin to tell you how this is going to perform, whether the failure of Shazam is going to affect it at all. Anyway, this is too much preamble for a thing that I haven't even looked at yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we? So we're going to watch the Blue Beetle trailer together, and then I'll give you my thoughts. I'll try not to talk over it too much as we look at it. You'll get a little bit of in-the-moment reaction. Are we ready? Is everybody good? Got a few folks in the comments here. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Hi, Brian. Hi, Robert. Brian, do it. Turn into a reaction video channel. Yeah. People enjoy these, and we did that video last week about old Batman trailers, and that was surprisingly well watched. People seem to really enjoy that, so we're definitely going to do more of those in the future with old trailers. That was kind of a fun thing to dissect and try to do, off the cuff, just going back to them. Anyway, let's do that with this, shall we? Here we go. So here is the Blue Beetle trailer. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that this just looks like a CW show. I hope that's not entirely true. Let's take a look. Here we go.
Excuse me, Mr. Reyes? You finished scraping the gum off that lounger or what?
Everything right now feels so out of reach.
You always land on your feet, bro.
I'm going to assume that wasn't a real sign.
They don't get out much.
Look how bright the color scheme is.
Jenny?
Ooh, it's purple. Get it?
Guard that with your life, but do not open it.
You went in to get us jobs, and all you brought back was a hamburger?
Okay, I don't
Ooh, finally got that on the big screen. That's very important. Big Belly Burger. Wait, it comes with the burger?
I think he likes me.
What a Happy Meal toy. This is very over the top. Watch out for scarabs, kids. This is what scarabs do.
Host acquired.
Who said that?
Just historically.
Okay, it's gonna be
And that's an Iron Man shot. Oh, he's in space now. That's fun.
space.
Re-entry systems ready.
It's true. You're in space. It's straight up Iron Man.
What is going on?
It's called the Scarab. It's some
I just said that.
world-destroying weapon. It's designed to protect its host. Sometimes it does what you want, and sometimes it doesn't.
I think I cut a bus in half.
That's true. That is what you did.
Chose you, but it belongs to me.
The love you feel for your family makes you weak.
Villain thinks family is a liability. Check. Gotta have that.
You have to figure out what you're gonna do with it.
Checking. Lots of cliches already here.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Let's party.
Nice choice.
That's fun. That logo's cool.
It's like Batman stuff. Batman's a fascist.
Gotta make sure and have references to the other.
You went into
Oh, sorry about that. To the other characters in DC, kind of going along with the Shazam thing. Okay, quick thoughts. So, humor-wise, it's kind of what I'm expecting from these right now. It looks a lot like Shazam and Black Adam. With that, where it's kind of putting the comedy front and center in the advertising, and I would assume that the movie will kind of be that way as well. When it's that over the top, it tends to take over a little bit. There was a lot of worry about that with Black Adam. You had some folks that were saying, there's just a couple jokes in the trailer, like, yeah, there's a guy in a bus who's kind of screaming and stuff, but maybe the whole movie won't be like that. And then it kind of was, it took over too much. So that's a concern. That kid is an actor I like. I like him in Cobra Kai, and it's kind of neat that he got that role. I didn't even realize that's who that was. I've honestly looked at nothing with this movie besides see, because I kept forgetting it was coming, and I saw the initial suit photos, like set photos, and that's all I saw. I'm with Austin there in the comments. Suit looks really good. The effects look okay so far. I'm not in love with the overall tone of the thing. The family like freaking out when he gets the scarab. I can do without that kind of stuff. I do appreciate that they're gonna know right away. That's kind of a nice angle, I suppose, that we won't have to spend the whole movie with him keeping a secret identity for the people closest to him. There could be some. There could be kind of a fun dynamic there. The way it's being sold is kind of a cross between a Shazam or an Ant-Man. I keep comparing those with Marvel and DC because they're both kind of B, C-list characters that are being advertised that way, where it's like this is not the... being self-aware about the fact that it's not a major property yet, and within the universe, he's a brand new superhero, kind of a nobody superhero. So I feel like it's being advertised as kind of a cross between Ant-Man and, weirdly, Black Panther. It's getting a lot of Black Panther vibes just from the way the trailer is put together. I'm not saying I expect the movie to be anything like that, but it's almost like it's one part like really... I don't want to say least common denominator. It's maybe not that bad, but like really standard superhero humor, and this is what it's trying to make you think it is anyway, like the elegance of the action of Black Panther, all the way down to there's so much purple in it, and then the way the logo was handled at the end, the kind of rhythm of how the rap music is used within the trailer, it feels a little bit like the way Black Panther was advertised, and I'm sort of surprised by that. But yeah, I'm not expecting a ton from it, to be honest with you. I don't think it looks better than I expected it to, given that the only thing I had heard from people was, oh, it looks like I saw this in the Discord this morning, and a couple of other people online I heard say, oh, it just looks like a CW show. Maybe writing-wise and humor-wise, and maybe some of the shot composition and stuff, but the effects are better than that, certainly. It's a lot brighter looking than some of these have been. I guess it's maybe on par with the second Shazam movie there, although it seemed almost overexposed, with some of the colors and lighting and stuff. Robert Weil looks like Shazam, but less funny to me. Yep, I agree with that. Robert also says, I'm cautiously optimistic, but this looks like it could flop. I really don't expect this to do very well. And again, how much of that can, and I thought that before looking at this, but like, I don't think it looks awful. I don't think it will look awful to it might be terrible, don't get me wrong. But like, it might not look terrible to a general movie audience. But again, given that nobody went to Shazam, people were disappointed with Black Adam, and people are kind of, looking at their watches, waiting for the James Gunn reboot to happen. I still can't tell how much that affects these things, but how much it's going to affect these things. Like, if this looked like something we'd never seen before, if it didn't have any standard touchstones, if it looked like it was totally going its own way, if it was like a First Class or a Logan, or I'm not expecting that from Blue Beetle, but what I mean is just something that really looked like you had to see it because it brought something to the table. This is playing it safe, and they're probably stuck with whatever they have. So what I mean is, like, they probably don't have a movie that is breaking away from the formula that much, so they can't do that much to make it look like it's separated from the pack, and it really doesn't. I mean, the thing that makes it different is, well, it's a younger superhero again. We haven't had that in a while, with the exception of Shazam. And it's a Hispanic superhero. And so, some people will certainly be excited, of course, for certain demographics to be represented that haven't as much with superhero movies. That's not going to be enough to make it, soar at the box office. And again, that actor is pretty good, and he could certainly carry that movie, and looks like he might be carrying that movie. I like what I said, I like what the suit looks like. I like the voice for the Scarab. That's fun. And somebody said, was it Tom? $2 Super Chat, he says, looks like Venom meets Iron Man. I was getting the Venom thing a little bit with the Scarab voice, but that's also kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming, where he's got the suit and it's talking to him. And I wonder how minimalistic that will be, or if that'll be like real in the forefront and they'll have like lengthy conversations together, that sort of thing. I guess with the villain side of it, maybe it looks a little bit more like Venom. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of, it looks like not like a cohesive blend. And again, I'm just looking at a trailer. Who knows what the actual movie is going to be like. But just given this, I'm not expecting like a cohesive blend of a lot of things you've seen before to bring us something real fresh and new. It kind of just looks like a whole bunch of pieces pulled from a lot of things, a lot of popular things we're all familiar with, and then just kind of rehashed, just thrown together to make another movie. I wish it looked a little more stylish, and I don't mean stylized, just stylish, just something a little new brought to the table. So not super impressed yet, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. August 18th, that is 5 days from my birthday, and the day after my dad's. Not that anybody cares, but I just thought of that. Okay, let's look at the Secret Invasion trailer now, and here we go.
Fury, since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse.
They really have, honestly, since you've been gone. Phase 4 happened, and people were not happy about it.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
Fury looks pissed.
This is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet. Do you feel responsible?
Where are the Avengers?
Well, that's complicated.
War's one I have to fight.
They're in lots of different places. A lot of characters I didn't realize were going to be in this. Or maybe I knew about Rhodey and I'd forgotten.
Nick Fury.
I hope he gets a little screen time. He got that one scene in Falcon Winter Soldier.
One last fight.
So that didn't give us like a whole ton of new stuff, but just tonally, I'm really interested in it. And I'm still in the same place I was with it. I don't have a whole lot to add, to be honest with you. I like how kind of somber it looks. I'm liking just selling it on like Sam Jackson's last hurrah. It's got a little bit of kind of a Logan vibe to it, and I mean Nick Fury's last hurrah, and he's not saying a lot. Like we don't really know how he's feeling about stuff. He kind of just looks fed up and done, which is cool. And I hope that it can earn that kind of darkness and pathos given the silliness in the way things have been retconned with that character. Because, as a lot of you guys know, I cannot stand what we did with the cat and stuff, with his eye and how that ruined the thematic connotations to his missing eye in Winter Soldier. What we did with that in Captain Marvel. It kind of sucks what we're stuck with that. And I'm not expecting to be won over it with it finally with new material with him set in the present, but maybe they can at least smooth it over and salvage it in some way. Excited about some returning characters that we haven't seen in a long time. It kind of sucks that Colby Smulders has just been nowhere for as long as she has. We've never really done that much with that character. And I hope that, again, that characters like Rhodey get a little bit to do. He had just that one scene at the beginning of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I was like, oh, cool, he's here. I kind of thought we'd at least maybe book him with him, having him come back. It was kind of weird that that didn't happen. I hope it's not bloated. It's kind of the obvious thing to say, but I hope that it doesn't have all the issues that a lot of these other Disney Plus things have had, and it's been developed and was shooting, I think, while the attitude was still content, and now they're backing that off some, and we're maybe going to be a little bit more meticulous about and calculated about what we make and how much of things we're making, and not just shove everything out and assume that we can do no wrong and that we're going to retain consumer confidence, because that's not happening now. But this was kind of made still with that, like maybe some things with it have changed in the editing bay, but like as it's being made, I think that's still kind of the prevailing attitude at Disney. So hopefully that doesn't harm it too much. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to go into this and wish it was a movie. And Secret Invasion is one of those properties that everybody kind of expected to be a big screen movie, I think, sometime after Endgame. And, like, while Civil War was coming out, I think, like, Secret Invasion was probably one of the big movies people were thinking, when is this going to happen? Or one of the big properties, events, people were like, when is this getting adapted? And then it never did, and now it's a Disney Plus show. Kind of weird that this is getting a full-on series, but now Armor Wars is being restructured to be a movie. I don't know if that's backwards or not. I guess we'll see how exactly that ends up working, or if we're at the end of the day going to wish that both of those were movies or that both of them were shows. I want to be excited that it's being that this premise is being fleshed out a little bit more, given the kind of spy nature of it. There's a lot of cool possible scenarios and situations that you can do with this, where, if you elongate it, it can be a lot more fun wondering who is a Skrull at one point and who is not. There's also kind of the question of at some point, like, is Nick Fury the whole way through, or is he going to be Talos again sometimes, or is he some other Skrull? Because I saw, and I don't think this was a fan-made thing, I saw a poster, and somebody let me know if I'm wrong about this, and it is a fan thing, because I just noticed it this morning when I was doing a Google image search to make the thumbnail for this. There's a poster with Nick Fury, who's like half Skrull-faced, and I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, and I wonder what exactly that means. So with what they're showing us so far, they're at least advertising it like kind of the Winter Soldier follow-up, at least tonally and a little bit, maybe, idea-wise, that we never really got with Captain Marvel, or not that would have been a follow-up, that's a prequel, but you know what I mean, with things like the closest to a real sequel to that we've had, of course, is Civil War, and Falcon Winter Soldier should have been that, but wasn't really. Let's see what folks are saying in the comments here. Jareth Gearhart, hopefully this will not be another show that wants to be a movie, echoing what I said just a minute ago. Robert, who knows how good this will be, but I appreciate seeing Fury get the spotlight. Yeah, same here. Plush DX, it's crazy how Fury basically sits out phase 3 and 4. Yeah, and you got to wonder what he's been doing that whole time and how exactly that gets smoothed over. I mean, like what is happening with him after he gets back after the blip? Like, I'm sure we're going to go in that. And I hope it's not the formula these shows have had, weirdly, where we'll get all that the second to last episode. We'll get to, I don't know if this is 6 or 8 episodes, but we'll get to the second to last episode, and then that whole episode will be a recap of what he's been doing since he came back from the blip. Because we've done that with at least, 3 of those shows? Roboters, do you think they will retcon any Avengers being Skrulls? That's a great question. I hope not. That would be really weird. My instinct is to say they won't, but then, of course, that was that event, right? Is that you had some superheroes that had been Skrulls the whole way through. So, are we conveniently just doing it with Shield agents? Yeah, I'm glad I read that question, because that is kind of the $100,000 question, isn't it? If we go back and please don't convolute it like that, because we've already had some massive prequelitis with Captain Marvel. We've already retconned some things in irritating ways in the last couple phases. Yeah, I really kind of hope that that's not where we're going with this. I would think if we did it, it would be with characters that we're still using, probably. So, could you do it with the Hulk? I don't see how, because he's had his powers. I forget, because I've only seen Captain Marvel a couple times. When a Skrull, replicates your DNA and looks like you, I don't think they also get your powers if you have superpowers, do they? So I'm wondering what characters you could even get away with saying were Skrulls the whole way through. Hawkeye's about one of the only characters that I feel like you could almost get away with it with, and even then, his motivations don't make any sense with what he does with his family and stuff if he's a Skrull. I feel like if you go down the roster of each of the Avengers, unless it's very, very, very late in the game with any of them, I don't see how they're Skrulls. Black Widow, maybe at some point I could see, but then, is she even in the show? I mean, she's not, unless they're keeping, certain actors and characters under their hats. So it would also be really weird to retroactively say, this character is a Skrull, but they're not in the show. That would be really weird. Jareth Gearhart, going back real quick to Blue Beetle, do you think Blue Beetle looks like it should have been on HBO Max, like it was made for? Kind of, yeah, but I do think it looks better than CW. Certainly. But not any, it doesn't look any more or less like it should be on Max than the last couple of movies they've had, honestly. I feel like Shazam kind of also has that. Plus GDX, the only people who could be Skrulls are side characters. So, I'm not thinking of character names right now because it's been so long, but Colby Smulders, right? She's probably a Skrull. Are we in agreement on this? Rhodey, could he maybe be a Skrull? Are we going to do a thing with Rhodey where it turns out that he's been a Skrull for X number of years, and then, because he's been in the background, we haven't done a lot with him, maybe sometime after he got his leg hurt in Civil War, maybe even in Civil War, I don't know, and then do we, at the end of that show, go to the real Rhodey, the real James Rhodes, and go, this is what he's actually been doing all this time, and then that sets up Armor Wars, maybe? I don't think that's what we're doing, but I don't have a real great guess at what characters might be Skrulls, considering, I mean, just considering the cast, and, it's not that much fun to speculate about. I guess that's the concerning and kind of not great thing about this is, I guess that's not actually that much fun to guess at, and was kind of the point of Secret Invasion in the first place. So hopefully the focus is kind of on some other things, so I'm not So, I'm not caring as much about that. But, like, I forgot that the guy from the Black Panther movies was in this. What is his name? Why is it not coming to me? Ross. He's in this, apparently. Maybe he's a Skrull. I don't know. It would be really funny. They're not going to do this. It would be really funny if they brought Coulson back and he was a Skrull the whole time. Like, he died and then he got replaced by a Skrull, and then it turns out that all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually is directly in continuity, but he was a Skrull the whole time, and all of the nonsense about how he was resurrected was it wasn't a Kree thing. It was actually a Skrull, because he's just a Skrull. That would be very convoluted, but nobody would care because it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm just joking. That's not going to happen. Maria Hill, thank you. FG, only characters who don't matter much will be Skrulls. Darcy, perhaps? Yeah, they could do it with that, but it would be kind of lame too. And I guess that Skrull got really good at using her quirky quips and vernacular. Roboters, I would say we make some figureheads of the government as Skrulls. It would explain how Hydra easily planted themselves. Yeah, that's fair. Roboters, Coulson is the only good Skrull that makes amends by staying with S.H.I.E.L.D. Sure, yeah. Anyway, well, so there's the trailers. We did it. We just did a reaction video. We did a half an hour reaction video. Yeah, I spend too much time on everything, but at least it wasn't just me sitting here and looking at it. So, Blue Beetle, not stoked about. Hopefully it surprises us. I'm not really expecting a whole lot from that, but the suit looks fine. It looks cool, and it looks like there could be maybe some fun to be had there. I think that actor is going to carry that movie. And Secret Invasion, I am certainly cautiously optimistic about. Well, everybody, thanks a bunch for hanging out with me for a little while this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get going. I'll be back with some other random things within the next couple weeks, but I'm going to mostly be focusing on a creative project. I'm going to be writing the Superhero Rewind movie. I'm hoping to get a first draft of that out within the next couple weeks, and that's not why I'm not streaming in the evenings. But I might do some Mario gameplay a couple times this week, since we've got the Mario movie coming out later in the week. And Sunday afternoon, probably in the afternoon, I'll give you a time a little closer to that date, Connor and I and Jason and possibly one or two other people are going to be reviewing the Mario movie. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, I'm Captain Logan, and I'll see you later, folks. Thanks for hanging out.